Hey Virgo, we're here for your weekly tarot love reading September 8th through to September 14th. This is for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and of course for any of you lovely cross-watchers dealing with a Virgo romantically. Now, I do always like to remind you, Virgo, these are general readings. They may or may not resonate, which is totally okay. You're more than welcome here to take what works and leave the rest. Now, of course, you know, I have to wish you a happy birthday if you are celebrating your birthday this week. Sending you guys so much love. Definitely let me know what you're doing to celebrate you. I just hope that you have an amazing week, an amazing birthday. Obviously, I wish every Virgo out there has an amazing week, but just like a little bit of extra love for those of you who are celebrating your birthday. So I hope you're doing something awesome and sending you guys so much love. All right, Virgo, so let's jump into it and let's see what could be coming towards you this week when it comes to love. First message coming out for Virgo says, I left you before you could leave me. Interesting. Definitely getting the vibe of somebody who's insecure. It kind of feels like somebody was feeling a little bit anxious in the connection and they're like, I'm kind of scared I could lose Virgo, so I'm gonna walk away first. I'm gonna like get out of this situation because I don't wanna be in a position where Virgo ends up leaving me. I'm getting like a very anxious energy here. Very interesting. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo. What is this? Just being near you is intoxicating. So weird, you guys. I think this person messed up big time. I think they got up in their head. I think they got anxious and then they pushed you away because they're like, I would rather be the one who walks away instead of waiting for Virgo to do it, but yet they find you intoxicating, right? So it's this very like insecure, very anxious energy where I feel like your person made a decision in the moment that was very fear-based. But now they're looking at it and they're like, but I'm still so into Virgo, right? Like they find you intoxicating, but yet, I don't know, they obviously pushed you away. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo this week. My life is not as together as it seems. No shit. Yeah, I mean, this is very interesting, you guys. Like, I'm very curious to see where this is gonna go. Essentially, what I'm picking up on here is somebody who literally does not have their life together. Like this all kind of creates a narrative here where I think you've been involved with someone romantically and you guys may have had really good moments. You may have had really strong feelings. However, I'm definitely getting the sense that this person has some things going on in their life that are maybe stressful, maybe something that they're dealing with, unresolved issues. That could be a problem. I'm also, I gotta be honest, like getting a pretty immature energy, maybe someone who has like unresolved issues from the past. I just feel that this person's energy is a little bit, not a little bit, maybe a lot unpredictable, right? And I don't think the issue here is that, you know, they like you, like they do like you. That's not the problem. The issue here is that they've got shit going on in their life. Their life is not together. They've got problems, they got issues they're dealing with. And then they're also, as far as I can tell, very anxious because it's like, I left you before you could leave me. It's almost as if they were running this whole story through their head where they're like, well, Virgo might leave me one day, so I'm going to get ahead of it and I'm going to leave Virgo first. It's a weird way of looking at things. And to me, that's a very anxiety driven type of behavior. So interesting energy, you guys. Let's look at them and let's look at you for the rest of the reading because I'm kind of curious. So we're going to look at their overall energy this week, what they might be feeling, what they might be doing. We'll look at the same thing for you and then we'll look at the potential outcome. Okay, tell me about this person's energy this week, please. Knight of Wands. Okay, you could be dealing with a fire sign, a Leo, Aries, or a Sagittarius. Knight of Wands is someone who is very passionate about you. I mean, we've already had the message just being near you is intoxicating. So I do think they're very attracted to you. There's probably some really strong chemistry. The problem that I see with the Knight of Wands is that the Knight of Wands can be a little bit of a player. I don't necessarily get the sense that that's the issue here. Like, I don't think your person is necessarily playing the field, Virgo, but I don't think they know how to stay. You know, because the Knight of Wands is really that vibe of like here for a good time, not a long time. It gives the energy of somebody who maybe doesn't really know what it takes to nurture a relationship and keep it healthy in the long term. Tell me more about this person's energy. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. I mean, after they left you for no good reason, now they want a fresh start, right? So it's like they charged into your life. They charged out of your life. They left you before you could leave them. And now they're coming back and they're like, but could we have a fresh start? You know, give me a chance, Virgo, so I can prove my loyalty and devotion. Tell me more. Five of Wands. Yeah. don't know, you guys. Like, what's coming to mind with the Five of Wands is somebody who wants to win. And in the context of somebody coming back, that always makes me a little bit nervous. You could see these are people like battling it out, right? So maybe part of what's driving your person to come back is they're like, well, I got to fight off the competition. Maybe they see you moving on. Maybe they see other people expressing interest in you and they're like, I got to get in there. You know, I don't want to lose Virgo. But I worry a little bit because I'm like, what is their motivation? Is their motivation to win? You know what I mean? Is this more of an ego thing where they still want to like prove to themselves that they can get you back? Is it ego driven? Or is it heart driven? You know, it's because they genuinely miss you. They genuinely want to be with you. As you can see here, I think this is definitely speaking to that immaturity that I was talking about, where they might have feelings for you, but yet they've got this ego issue, they've got these personal issues, they've got these fears, they've got these anxieties, and it's all like jumbled up here. And I think it's really preventing your person from authentically showing up in the connection. What could they be feeling this week? Yeah, okay. We already know that, but thank you, Tarot. Eight of Swords, trapped, anxious, up in their head, self-doubt. We've already talked about this. This to me is like a repeating message, just confirming, like they get up in their head, then they end up feeling trapped, then they push you away, then they get super anxious, they overthink everything, they have all these doubts, then they come back around. Basically, it's showing somebody who is being driven by their fears. What else could they be feeling? Queen of Cups, but they love you. That's what I said, Virgo. This is not at all a situation, I think, where they don't love you. I don't see that here. I do actually think they love you quite a bit. If they could get their shit together, maybe you guys could work it out, but like they got some stuff they got to work on, right? So Queen of Cups is water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, showing up in their feelings, telling me they do have a lot of love for you. But everything else, like their immaturity and their anxiety and all their issues and their ego are maybe getting in the way of them being able to like truly be with you. What else could they be feeling this week? The Page of Wands. I think you're going to hear from them. Pages tend to be the messengers of the tarot. They tend to indicate outreach. You could be dealing with a fire sign, a Leo, Aries, or a Sagittarius. They might reach out to you this week. And here's the thing as well, right? For those of you who have your birthday, I always find it interesting when we're in the birthday month because I feel like when it's your birthday, it kind of can give somebody an excuse to reach out. Like I have so many people who are like, I haven't heard from this ex in months. And then all of a sudden it was my birthday and then they reached out to me, right? And it's almost like it gives them an excuse to connect. They're like, well, of course I got to reach out to Virgo. It's Virgo's birthday. I got to wish them a happy birthday, you know? And so they reach out in this kind of casual way. Like the Page of Wands is somebody who reaches out kind of casual, kind of flirty. It's not like a serious outreach. It's like a playful, flirty kind of outreach. But yet, I don't think you need to see playful, flirty from this person. From what I'm seeing so far, Virgo, I think what you would need to see from this person is some level of maturity. But I do think Page of Wands makes me feel they're going to reach out. I don't think it's going to be like a mature reach out. It's going to be something that kind of brushes past the issue. Okay, what actions could they be taking this week? Three of Pentacles. I mean, obviously trying to work things out with you. Three of Pentacles is somebody who does want to try to fix things and work together as a team to make things better. Tell me more. The Hierophant. This is tough, you guys. Hierophant is Taurus energy. It does indicate commitment. And this is one of those tough situations where I'm like, I think in your person's heart, they probably do desire commitment. Like deep down in their heart, I do think that's probably what they're looking for, Virgo. But the question is, are they at a place where they can offer you that? Have they done the work they need to do on themselves? Are they mature enough to be able to give you that commitment? I do think that's what they want, but like, it doesn't mean they're able to give it to you. You know what I mean? Like we can desire something, but the question here is like, okay, they may desire that commitment, but do they have the skills and the maturity to really invest in a long-term relationship with you? Tell me what other actions they could be taking this week. High Priestess. They do feel a strong connection. You know, sometimes I feel like the High Priestess can represent a soul connection between two people. This is a tough one, you guys. Like, I'm very curious to look at your energy, Virgo, because I do think there's probably a bit of a pull between the two of you, like a magnetic pull. I'm going to guess you probably feel it too. But I also see some stuff in here that looks pretty unhealthy to me, right? So it's like, it's almost as if you guys have trouble quitting each other, but yet you also have trouble being together. And I think we've looked at why, because of your person's behavior, right? So this is one of those challenging situations where I think you two feel attracted together, you feel pulled towards each other, but I'm seeing a lot within your person's energy to indicate a lack of maturity in how they approach a romantic relationship. And also someone who maybe has a lot of shit going on in their life. That's a problem, right? I mean, I think sometimes it can be hard to be in a relationship when like everything around us is chaos. So if everything in your person's life feels like chaos, as much as they may love you with that Queen of Cups, if they're not able to handle their life and their responsibilities and their challenges in a mature way, it is going to be chaos. And so they might bring that chaotic energy into your relationship, even though they want things to be stable and committed. Do they have the skills and the maturity to offer you that? That's the question that I have here, because I'm not really seeing that. I see the desire, but I'm like, but are they growing up, right? It's almost a little bit of that Peter Pan syndrome. It's like, will they ever grow up? Let's look at you. Okay, let's look at Virgo for this week. Knight of Swords, interesting. I mean, Knight of Swords is a desire to want to move forward. Tell me more. The Sun, okay, interesting. I mean, I think if you could see a pathway where the two of you move forward in a happy place, I think you'd go for it. I think the question is whether you guys can get there. Tell me more, please. Ten of Pentacles, okay. Your energy is very strongly showing that you want commitment. I'm gonna throw something out there though, because with the Knight of Swords, it is a very fast moving energy, Virgo, but the Knight of Swords sometimes makes decisions without fully thinking them through. So I think there's maybe a little bit of advice here for you where if it comes to a place where you need to make a decision about this connection, I feel like the Knight of Swords is like, don't just rush into something without seeing the full picture. Get all the information you need. I also, the other thing too, I think sometimes like we want to be back with somebody. So maybe there's part of you that's like, I do love this person. I do want to be back with them. So like your heart is pulling you back to them, right? But the question is, are they able to give you what you want? Because in the short term, maybe it would feel really good to be back together. But then I feel like you're being encouraged to also think about the long term, right? It's like pull all of that into your decision making before you choose. Tell me what Virgo could be feeling. Queen of Swords, okay. I think you're clear about how you feel. I think you're trying to get clarity from your person this week. Six of Swords. Six of Swords is a transitional energy moving away from rocky waters towards smooth sailing. I feel like your energy is kind of on the fence, Virgo. I feel like, I do feel you would want to make it work with this person. Like, you know there's problems, but I do feel your heart is pulling you toward them. What else could Virgo be feeling? But you don't know if you can trust them. That's a problem, okay? That's a problem, you guys. So Seven of Swords to me is a big problem. It's the Thief of the Tarot, it's trickery, it's deceit, it's somebody who's not being honest. This tells me you're not sure if you can trust them. So on the one hand, I do feel that your heart is being pulled towards them, but yet you also can't trust them. And I don't know about you guys, like this is just my thoughts, and you can let me know what you think. Like, I don't know how you have a relationship with someone you don't trust. Like, I just don't know if that's possible, you know? Like, you may love each other, but if you don't trust them, what's that really going to be like in the long term? How is that going to play out? So my concern here is that I almost feel because there is this like magnetic pull between you guys, you get pulled back together, but I'm not confident that either of you are like really getting to the heart of the issue because both of you guys have these fast moving knights. Your person had the Knight of Wands, you had the Knight of Swords. It's very quick, it's coming back together, it's passionate. But again, both of those knights have a little bit of an element of not really thinking things through. And that's where I'm like, whatever you decide to do here, I'm not here to tell you what to do. Whatever you decide to do, I feel like you need to think about if you can trust this person with the Seven of Swords and really look at the full picture. Interesting. Let's see what actions Virgo could be taking. Seven of Cups. You've obviously been very confused. It's like you're trying to clear up what's going on here. The Seven of Cups here. So this is the Crystal Visions Tarot. in a lot of tarot decks, like the Rider-Waite tarot deck, for example, when you look at the Seven of Cups, there's 7 cups and there's actually like a cloud behind them. That's what the imagery is on some of the other tarot decks. The cloud represents illusion, right? And so it's that element of like not seeing things clearly. So this is very fascinating to have this show up when I literally just pulled the 7 of Swords and was like, can you trust them though, Virgo? Like if you really check in with yourself, do you feel you can trust this person? And I feel like the 7 of Cups is saying like things are still murky to you. Things are still not clear, right? You're trying to get clarity, but not everything is as it seems. Tell me more. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is not good. 5 of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold, which is what happens when somebody leaves you, right? Okay. So I feel like what happened is, as we saw, I left you before you could leave me. They left you. It was very confusing to you. It left you feeling out in the cold. And so it's like, what do you do with that moving forward? Right? And I feel like what's coming to mind is somebody who's always waiting. What do they say? Like waiting for the other shoe to drop? Is that the saying? That's a saying, right? Waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the ball to drop, the other ball to drop. I don't know, you guys. There's a saying like where essentially what it means, like you're living on eggshells. You're walking on eggshells. Oh my gosh, I don't know what my sayings are today. You're walking on eggshells, right? So it's like you're with them, but because you know that they have this tendency to cut and run and leave without any explanation, it's almost as if you're waiting for that to happen again. That goes into the trust, right? So I worry a little bit, like the two of you might get back together. And like I said, it might be all romantic and lovey-dovey and great initially, but I feel like there's going to be something in the back of your mind that's like, can I really trust them? Because I think they have shown that they are inconsistent and unpredictable in their decision-making. And to me, this is not a tarot thing. This is just my opinion. Like that to me is one of the worst qualities in a partner. Like, you know, I just feel if your person is inconsistent, unreliable, and you never know what you're going to get, yeah, you're going to be walking on eggshells, right? And I just feel like maybe you guys come back together, but in the back of your mind, you're always like, but when are they going to do it again? What other actions could you be taking, the Empress? Okay. I don't know, you guys. I'm going to tell you what's coming to mind. So the Empress, and we've talked about this before on my channel, Virgo. The Empress is a very loving and nurturing energy. You can see the Empress is a person who's pregnant. It tends to indicate a very mothering type of energy. I worry, you can let me know if this connects. Take it or leave it. I worry if the dynamic between you and this person is more of a parent-child kind of dynamic, where you are the mature one, you're the one always nurturing the connection, you're trying to help them grow up, you're trying to help them be responsible. Here's the thing, is that your role as a partner, right? That's what a parent does to a young child. You know, like a parent helps a child learn how to be in the world and you know, all that things. But like in a romantic partnership, is your partnership supposed to have that kind of dynamic? I think most of us would say no, probably. And I just worry that you're maybe overdoing it, like over-giving, over-functioning within this relationship. Because like I said, you're dealing with someone who's maybe, they don't have all their shit together, right? And so are you kind of waiting for the potential here where you're like, yeah, I mean, they haven't really grown up, but like, yeah, they're just immature. You know, they don't have their life together. Maybe they don't have a lot of relationship experience. I'm getting a little bit of like making excuses. I don't know if you feel like you've made excuses for this person. I am picking up on that a little bit. And so I just wonder if maybe there's a bit of a dynamic here where you're kind of the one nurturing the relationship, but it creates this weird kind of power imbalance because it's like you're always trying to make your person be responsible. But here's the hard truth. We can't make anybody do anything, right? If your person wants to grow up, be responsible, deal with the issues in their life, and start being an adult, they need to do that. You cannot make them do that. You know what I mean? That is their journey. That is something that they need to take responsibility for. And I almost feel if what's going on here is you're seeing the potential of what this person could be in the future, but not the reality of how they're showing up right now. I'd caution you there. Just ask yourself that, right? If that's true or not. You know, if nothing changed, I say this to you guys, like if nothing changed, if they kept showing up the way they're showing up right now, nothing ever changes. That's who they are. Is that who you want to be in a relationship with? If the answer is yes, go for it. But if you're not happy with how they are, I think it's a very dangerous thing to be waiting on the potential to see if one day they could be who you want. I don't know, you guys. I'm just getting a weird kind of vibe. You can probably tell how I'm doing the reading. Like something is just sitting a little bit weird here. Let's see the potential outcome. Six of Cups. There's history here. It's hard to walk away when there's history. Six of Cups can also be unresolved stuff from the past that's impacting us now. King of Pentacles. Okay, that's your energy. Very stable, very solid. What's the potential outcome here? Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Feels like you guys are going to give it a go, which is totally your choice to do that, right? The outcome here is kind of saying to me that there's enough history between the two of you that it makes you want to fight for it. I think the two of you might be working to try to bring some stability into the connection, and you can see how it goes, right? I do think there is something to be said for two people who want to put in the effort. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of effort. So, you know, if both of you are committed to trying to make it work, then you can give it a go and see how it goes, right? Maybe your person is going to try to work on their issues, their stuff, their messy life. I don't know, whatever's going on, right? So I get the sense here that neither of you are willing to walk away. And so you might give it a chance to kind of work on things and see how it goes. And I always say to you, you know, so you can kind of see what happens, right? You know, track it, see how you're feeling. But I guess the message I would leave you with is don't just fall in love with someone for their potential. Like really look at how they're showing up, right? And if your person can start showing up in a good way, that's great. That's what I hope. You know, I always hope that. But if they're not getting their life together and they're still doing shenanigans like this, where they're in and out the door, they're anxious, they're pushing you away, that's also something to consider. So you can definitely give them a chance to see how it goes. And then I think you just kind of have to see what they do. What do they do with that chance? So maybe this is a reading where it's like you give them a chance and then you just kind of assess that over time and see how you feel. Very interesting though. I don't think either of you are ready to let each other go, but I do think you've got some things to work on if you're going to try to invest in this. That's what I see. So I'm going to leave it there for you, Virgo. If you enjoyed this reading, you know what to do. Give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And of course, I wish you love, I wish you happiness, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.